Day or night, it's Hessenite. Few quick housekeeping things. This isn't going to be what videos look like from now on. I'm going to make a background in this green space to be the background for videos. I'm going to pay for the DLC to get rid of that little watermark thing. And as I get better with art and with rigging, Jade is going to slowly but surely get better. But I was doing this on top of doing the artwork for this video, so I could only do so much in a week. And I had a bunch of life things come up, so if you hear any weirdness, it's because for once I'm recording in my office, if only because my partner's doing the actual job that makes money in the front room as their office because our dogs cannot be left unattended. So, but my office is not set up for recording yet. Like, I have to clean it and set up monitors and stuff, so I'm reading the script off of my phone. So, this video's gonna be a bit janky. Today, originally, we were going to be doing a Cassidy's Crying Child video. Another Fnaf tuber, Rye Toast, made some videos that made me question some things, and so I need to do a bit more personal research and stuff on that to where I'm satisfied with the script for that video to record it. So I am going to do kind of like a revisited version of a theory I like lightly mentioned in my timeline video, in which case like I'm taking the Help Wanted 1 context of the previous games were lies made by Fazbear Entertainment as a cover-up. I'm taking that as truth and looking at how that affects canon currently. This means we won't be getting into anything with like Vanessa or Cassie. So everything after Help Wanted 1, timeline wise and story wise, is set in stone. Those characters we see explicitly what happens. I'm just looking at the past of what happened before Help Wanted 1. If the original games were fake, theoretically, what lore is intact? When it came to Help Wanted 1, originally, my thoughts were it had to be restated after FNAF 4 or in one of the 8-bit death mini games for me to consider them still canon. Though after Help Wanted 2, I'm reconsidering some things. Originally, I stopped the ball at FNAF 4 because that was the furthest we had seen the mini games in Help Wanted 1. I didn't really take time to consider things like scrap baby plushes or if the death mini games were affected by all this. So I wanted to take a step back and look at all of the games since Help Wanted 1, since that was what the start of a reboot could be. So what seems to be made up and what can we still consider canon? Help Wanted 1 seems to imply that the gameplay from the first original 5 or so games were the lies made up by Fazbear Entertainment. So we need to rely on games after Help Wanted 1 to parse through what was real and what was fiction. We're going to assume a majority of it was a lie, including death minigames, unless it's restated after Help Wanted 1. The exception to this rule will be names, because I need names for these characters, and I don't hate myself. They've been stated enough in different versions of the stories to be considered canon. So what information does Help Wanted 1 give us? There was some sort of murder, and we can assume it was William Afton's doing. The Pizza Party minigame doesn't feel like the others in Help Wanted 1. So there must be some accuracy to that. This means we know that bodies were stuffed inside the suits like we believed, and this was done so by William donning a rabbit suit and leading children back. Or at least we know that specifically Freddy was stuffed. In Curse of Dreadbear, we get a few extra lore tidbits. Fall Fest, the Rare It's Me screen, which implies Golden Freddy, but no confirmation that existed at Fazbear, and implies that Golden Freddy is possessed to some extent, though jury's out if this is the vengeful spirit, for lack of a better name, or crying child, and 8 graves surrounding a glitch to ninth in the middle. The middle is obviously Williams because of the ears and stuff, which means we need to account for 8 dead victims at the start of Help Wanted 1. So, like, William could have had other victims, but we need 8 main ones, and they had to have been dead by Help Wanted 1. So, the person that's killed in Help Wanted 2 would not count towards these 8 deaths. In these games, we also see Halloween masks, implying Fredbear was popular enough to have merch like that. Along with masks, we see Mangle and Balloon Boy with the original 4, so we know that these 2 existed alongside the 4 of them in the early timeline. We also get Faz tokens, confirming that at least Freddy's was established in 1983. So far, this deconfirms Scrap Baby and Ennard, making them creations of Fazbear Entertainment instead of a result of Williams' actions, which also somewhat deconfirms Elizabeth Afton, as there's nothing pointing towards her existence yet outside of the graves. So far, the confirmed characters we've got are William, at least Gabriel within the MCI, the Vengeful Spirit, and or Crying Child. This means we've only got 2 or 3 of William's 8 confirmed dead victims. No Henry, no Michael, no Charlie, no Elizabeth. Nor do we have proof that the missing child incident took place, just that Gabriel existed and died at the hands of Williams. On to security breach. The reason I largely am ignoring the 8-bit minigames from Fnaf 2 onward is this. They can easily be explained by being arcade games in the Pizzaplex. Like Midnight Motorist could 100% just be a game in the Pizzaplex. But we get confirmation of Fredbear's Family Diner featuring Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. The suit we now know is Springtrap. We also get the Princess Quest minigames, which slightly reconfirm the name Cassidy because the princess was temporarily labeled Cassidy. We also get the sister location room, so we can assume that sister location to some extent existed or was real, but we don't know everything that happened down there. Seeing as it's nearly 1-for-1, I'm going to go ahead and say that this means Michael is canon. In and around Ruin, we see the Freddy's cartoon, confirming the brand was popular enough for a cartoon, which we do see in the FNAF 4 minigames. Ruin confirms both the Princess Quest and Burn Trap endings are canon in some form, which confirms Burn Trap, which confirms William dying in Springtrap, which confirms Springlock's suits. If A means B and B means C, A means C. We also get that room with the plush babies giggling, which implies they're possessed. Between this and the sister location room, we can assume that Elizabeth is reconfirmed. In Security Breach Room and Help Wanted 2, we get the Nightmare Annette plushies, which implies Charlie, or at least a soul like Charlie, is possessing the puppet, and we're calling it Charlie for simplicity. On to Help Wanted 2 proper, which reconfirms Pizzeria Simulator to some extent, and a lot of sister location, including Scrap Baby and Ennard. But how can Help Wanted 1 put this all into question, but Help Wanted 2 reconfirm it? Help Wanted 1 was a game made by Fazbear Entertainment for cover-ups to sell to the masses, to make light of everything, as Tape Girl states. However, Help Wanted 2 is more like security feeds and training stuff for employees under NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. So I'm more willing to take everything here as truth. Besides, if we take some parts of it as truth, such as the Fall Fest being on fire and the sister location stuff, we have to accept the pizzeria location stuff with Helpy and the gang. Help Wanted 2 also reconfirms the missing children incident's kids and confirms their death order with Chica being the first. Now, this doesn't mean that the missing child incident happened as the missing child incident. It just means that the missing children incident kids existed. Princess Quest games also reconfirmed the mini-game events from Fnaf 4 with the Bonnie Bro mask. So if the Bonnie Bro mask exists, and it seems to be implying that the Bite of 83 happened, it means Crying Child exists, which means Michael very likely exists, because Bonnie Bro was one of Michael's friends. Princess Quest in general connects to FNAF World and Ultimate Custom Night, which implies Vengeful Spirit, which could be Crying Child, but I'll get into that in my next Cassidy video, because I pushed back that video for this one. Because I have thoughts. But for the sake that we only have 8 graves, I'm going to say Vengeful Spirit and Crying Child are the same entity. Because I'm tired. So I'm going to label that character as Cassidy. So now we have William, Charlie, Susie, Fritz, Gabriel, Jeremy, Cassidy, Elizabeth, and Michael as 8 dead victims as of Help Wanted 1. Bonnie Bro is a victim, but we cannot count him as one of the 8 graves because he was not dead at the start of Help Wanted 1 or Curse of Dreadbear DLC. That accounts for William and the 8 potential past victims. The missing incident kids and William's 3 children were his main victims. So we can theoretically forget about the Bite of 87 and the missing children incident being the missing children incident. Though the victims were still the same, they are never restated as having an incident where they all went missing. Will the next FNAF game come and wreck my theories again? Probably. Could another FNAF tuber come in any second and cause me to rethink everything? That's why I'm having issues with the Cassidy video. But for now, I'm working on this basis. Help Wanted 1 was a soft reboot. Everything before is in a nebulous state of canon until evidence after Help Wanted 1 states it. Though I will be using previously used names because I don't hate myself. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Have a good day!